Hello, I'm here with Rafael Arroyo. My name is Breno Garcia, and we will be having a podcast about poverty. How are you today?
I'm excellent.
That's good, that's good. I want to talk about the SDGs that we have, which is poverty, and the
Yes.
people we interviewed. So,
Okay.
who did you interview?
I interviewed an ex-politician that for me was the best out of my three interviews, since he was the one that dominated the subject better, since he is an ex-politician, so he lived it and heard many demands on how they were feeling, like the people. And so it is very difficult, since he had to listen and all their demands for better things and a better quality of life, since the other interviewers had also good points, but he was an expert in that area.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yes.
For my interviewees, I picked a person who lives on the border between in Texas with Mexico, so he can compare the poverty in how they treat them in the United States compared to how they treat them in Mexico. It's crazy. And as
It
well,
is.
I also picked another person who has researched the subject of poverty as she teaches it, and she has lived through many years of seeing how the poverty has changed from the 80s all the way to now. And yeah, that's my interviewees. Do you want to
Very good.
give this? I'll give the story of the person in Texas.
Sure. Go on.
All right. So this person, he lives in McAllen, Texas, and Reynosa, Tamaulipas, and he obviously knows both parts of the poverty in both countries,
Okay.
as he can see him every day in his everyday life. And when I asked him these questions to the interview, he replied. Well, they all replied kind of the same, but he stuck out to me because the thing he focused on the most is that they treat the poor people in the United States so much better. They give them so much more benefits, and even though yes, in the United States you see them get treated unfairly, it's nothing compared to Mexico. Over there, you get food stamps and benefits such as that. Really good homeless shelters, and in Mexico, it's hard to see people treating homeless people or people in poverty well, as they judge them of how they talk, how they look, and what they wear. And he thought that the poverty in Mexico is really bad, but it has a lot of potential, since he said, like the other interviewees, that um, that's not their fault that they are poor, since it's kind of society that sets them up for that, and it's not their fault. Obviously, there's a lot of them that choose to be lazy and not work, but there's a big majority that work but just have no jobs or aren't given the opportunity to do so.
Okay, so they were really good interviews in general, and they all come to a sense that makes me want to motivate a change, since this is a topic that I really like, since there hasn't been a change, and all these testimonies that I had in my interviews, for example, the ex-politician, it is really crazy how there is many people that are already desperate and want to change. They have many demands and many things they want to say, but the government isn't very open to hear all the demands, since it is very extreme how the balance of the GDP, it's more to separate it from the wealth to the poor. So it is very, very bad that they don't hear out the poor and give all the credit to the wealthy people. So that motivates me to make a change. And what I would do to make a change is that it is very essential. So we have to go directly to the government, since, as I already said, with the GDP, it is really extends how it is the wealth balance to the poor. So they have to open their eyes, and yes, so that's what I think motivates me to make a change in this area.
That's
So
good.
you what do you think about it?
I completely agree with you. And also, I think what motivates me to make a change is that we need to inspire people to do better in this country, since we have such a large margin of rich people to poor people, since there's the majority of the country is in poverty, and it's so hard for them to get out, given we give them no opportunities to do so. It motivates me to, if I was in their position, I would like to be able to work hard and actually have an opportunity to put myself and my family ahead in life. Yes. What else do you think? How do you think you can make that change happen?
Well, I think it's very difficult since
I
going to
agree.
the government isn't easy.
Yes.
Since they are very closed and they are not open a lot because there is many corruption.
Yeah.
So, but I think yes, it's better to go first with the people, so all people in Mexico open their eyes and make more campaigns and people to be willing, since there are many people that do not see this problem, which is very ridiculous, the problem. So first the people and then the government, I think.
Yeah. Honestly, I completely agree with you, because in Mexico, I feel like we are taught to take care of ourselves and not the people around us. So, as well as the fact that it's going to be very expensive if the government wants to help out all the people in poverty, or the majority of them, since it's not impossible. It's going to be very expensive, and both sides are going to have to put everything they can into making it work.
It is, but yeah, we could try to make a change, since this is a very very bad problem for Mexico.
Yeah, something that my interviewees said that they all said when I asked them if the people in upper class wouldn't want to give people in poverty advantages such as a good education, inheritances, and technology, stuff like that. They said that people in the other upper class are very selfish, and that they are taught to not take care of the people around them but themselves. Since in Mexico it is rare that a person in the upper class, which works for his money, or their family has worked for their money, is willing to help out other people that have not worked for their money or that are just starting to work, since we were educated that way, and it's especially hard for them, since all three of my interviewees as well said, I'm sure the politicians said this as well, that it's hard for them to do anything since they don't have a good education or access to a good education.
It is.
In conclusion, I believe that the people in Mexico should all have a fair chance to come out ahead in life, and if we work together by 2030, like the SDG says, it's very possible to accomplish this goal. Maybe not get rid of all the poverty in Mexico, but we can for sure help their state of living and make them not live in poverty without electricity, without water, and stuff like that.
I totally agree with that.
Okay, thank you very much for this podcast.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's it. Really, really good chat.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.